I
all
suck.
know. 100%. Absolutely. She is the absolutely plastic, fake, virtue signaling bitch that everyone knows in real life.
You should just let the demons out. You should.
Is this
That's
what I'm
who
doing?
you really are. We know that's who you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
man.
yeah, I
Dude, it's
gotta-
crazy.
Hey!
Oh! All right, what do we got here? What do we got here?
Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there. If I'm gonna play games as a time sponge, I might as well make some money out of it. Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games, complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom into investment. I've been enjoying playing Call to Dragons on free cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated.
What do we got here? What do we got here?
Pretty messy. Hey, what's up, guys?
All right, okay. Give me the tea.
Up here. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the pretty messy situation involving the popular indie VTuber Deme, who found herself facing a lot of criticism thanks to a post she made where she was attempting to set boundaries regarding artwork made of her VTuber model. However, her response to said criticism has really shown her true colors, many people thinking she is a mean girl who is rubbing the lowest moment of someone's life in...
This woman online is actually not super nice and wholesome and preaching about men's mental health and shit.
in their faces and criticism while doing so very hypocritically, where in past situations she has condemned such behavior and even asked for grace when she found herself in a low moment as well.
Signal.
All of this stems from this
Alrighty.
post talking about how she's extremely uncomfortable with not safe for work art made of her VTuber model. Now the hypocrisy people are attempting to point out, the next post was her reposting very suggestive art of her VTuber model and
I make incredibly sexualized content of this incredibly sexualized VTuber model, but how dare you sexualize me?
really she has a history of doing that, but that's a very small portion of this.
By the way, it's not even like how dare you sexualize me, it's how dare you sexualize this very sexualized art that represents me online. Just understand the level of coke we're dealing with.
Video. What I'm focusing on
Again, I don't actually care. If she feels that way, that's whatever. I don't care. None of this really matters.
Most.
Right, dude, there is so much porn out there. I shouldn't even say this out loud. Of my VTuber avatar. All right, because some people are gonna do whatever people do. All right, that's you know, honestly, that's just where we at.
is her response to the attempted criticism, where Chibi Reviews, for example, is met with this post from Deme, where she's mocking the fact that his fiance cheated.
Wait, OMG, aren't you the guy whose fiance literally cheated on you and your whole friend group sided with her Lamau? Wait, this is the... I care about men's mental health. I don't want to invade your privacy. I care about not safe for work art of this sexy drawing that I had made to represent myself, and people are making sexy art that I retweet, but I actually condemn it. Lamau, your fiance cheated on you with a black guy? Bro, what are we doing here? Are you serious? This is the men's mental health advocate?
Cheated on him.
No.
She laughs about the scenario, the lowest moment of that guy's life, which is not just a heinous response and a very shallow one for criticism, but also it brings up her history of dealing with related subjects where she has condemned such behavior and also asked for grace in her own life when she was facing low moments, especially when it comes to her own relationships. For example, when her current boyfriend physically and emotionally abused her. And
Is she one of women that refuses to block their rapist. Dude, I stick my toe into internet drama and I become the worst guy ever. Dude. No, stereotype.
And even slashed her with a knife. And she has condemned people bringing this up and bringing up her lowest moment in her life, but I guess when it comes to people criticizing her, it's fair game. So let's get into the post itself that started all this. She said, "Hey, just a reminder, I'm extremely uncomfortable with not safe for work art of me," in quotes, "but why did you make your VTuber look like that?" End quote. Just because I like sexy stuff doesn't mean I want to see full-blown adult content of it. In quotes, it's just a VTuber, end quote. Who do you think of when you see it? So a lot of people are...
They think of the drawing? What are you serious, bro? Like, what are we doing? This is like an OnlyFans model or whatever that posts not full sex scenes of themselves, but they just post nudes of themselves. And they're like, I really don't want you to think about sex scenes of me. I only want to... And it's like, are you serious?
Pointing out that she has a history of consistently reposting artwork of her model in very suggestive situations. And
like, by the way, this is like the I'm uncomfortable not safe for work art of me. It says like an incredibly pornified VTuber. I actually don't care about this. By the way, I just want to make my stance known. I'm just laughing about the hypocrisy and stuff. I don't actually care about this take at all. All right, I think that if she's uncomfortable about it and she wants to say it, she can say it, and people could listen and don't have to listen because that's just reality on the internet, I guess. But I don't actually give a shit.
They think this line she's trying to draw is a confusing one or possibly a hypocritical one. This is some of the responses saying, feels uncomfortable, not safe for work art of herself, reposts not safe for work art. And this is literally the next post she made after claiming she was so uncomfortable with not safe for work arts, where this particular art piece, you can see pretty much all of her chest and other parts of her body. It's very suggestive. But of course, people are going to debate about whether or not that is...
Are you serious? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? No. No.
Full-blown adult content, as she was referring to.
You're just drawing a line in the sand over how looted different people draw art of the sexy VTuber model that you had made for yours. Are you serious?
This is the very normal response to people making edits of the previous poster and gunning them down, because apparently trying to have a conversation about this sort of boundary setting is, well, met with violent hostility, but people are pointing out overall that she has a history of posting very suggestive artwork and sharing it, of not just her VTuber model, but also posting herself in similar sorts of ways. And you can see other quotes like this.
Posting photos of herself? Wait. Yeah, this is her. She's posting actual, like, I guess, baity photos of herself.
Her model, but also posting herself in similar sorts.
I can't believe they think of me when they... Oh, yeah?
Of ways. And you can see other quotes like this saying, this would hold more water if you weren't consistently retweeting softcore adult content of your model. And really just looking at her model itself, obviously it is quite revealing.
Obviously,
it's just a very messy,
very sexual, and it's like, don't sexualize me when I sexualize myself. Many such cases.
Situation. I'm not here harping on this sort of standard she's setting.
Yeah, I don't
It's okay
care.
to set boundaries, but
yeah, I actually don't give a shit about this. I'm glad he's saying that too.
Case, it's pretty messy. But where I do feel very compelled to talk about all this is where Chibi Reviews, the YouTuber, would reply, where he would raise the same sort of criticism, saying, the level of virtue signaling has stun-locked me. Look at the repost, referring to the same repost that the other user had shared. And this was her response, not clarifying anything, not combating the point being made here. Instead, taking a shot at his
I don't want to fucking spend all kinds of money.
Aren't you the guy whose fiance literally cheated on you and your whole friend group sided with her?
But then again, I got all that.
So she brings up the fact that this guy
supplies fucking stacking up.
They're all horrible people.
Alright, I'm gonna...
Obviously, the people who did this in the friend group, all that. Horrible people. Why is that funny? How is that even a response? It's not even acknowledging the criticism whatsoever. You're just dunking on...
It's almost like the whole virtue signal, I care about men's mental health thing is just a facade in order to gain an audience, but this person is actually just... bitchy? A little bit, maybe? I mean, I don't know her, but,
Guy with his lowest moment, and then laughing at it. And people really did not appreciate this, but for those who don't know, a few months ago, Chibi Reviews shared a personal event in his life where his fiance cheated on him with one of his close friends in the friend group, chose the friend over him, and he almost drank himself to death in response.
He shouldn't have
and it was surely either the lowest or one of the lowest moments of his life. But that's now being rubbed in his face when he dared to criticize someone's post.
Yeah.
Right? And you can see people saying Western VTubers try not to be terrible people for 5 seconds challenge. Impossible. And it seems to happen over and over again, especially with the popular female indie VTubers, where it's like eventually they have this move, and whether or not you want to consider this new for Deme, I don't really know. But this is a really mask-off moment, right? People are looking at this with a lot of disdain. They think this is an incredibly low blow, but it goes way beyond that. She is very hypocritical on all these related subjects, where she has talked about cheating before. In fact, in a recent video from only a few months ago, she was talking about a big cheating scandal in the Japanese streaming scene, and this was her response to people hyping up the guy who was the cheater.
Watch. This is a clip from that stream. Look at him.
No! No! All the men cheering for him? No! Are you dead ass?
All the gifted subs he was getting.
Cheering for cheating is bad, I guess, when it happens to a woman. But I'm making fun of a guy who gets cheated on his face, because that's just a woman freeing herself from the clutches of an evil dude, right? Isn't that how it works?
So here, she's very angry about men hyping up the guy who is cheating and making light of the event or even glorifying it. But that's exactly what she's doing.
It's pretty bad.
Chibi reviews.
That's pretty
she
bad.
Is elated about this.
It's almost like the entire thing is just a facade, and she doesn't actually give a fuck about any of the things that she said. Weird if true. Weird if true.
Isn't even laughing about it in her.
Look, I've said this before. 1 in 4 streamers is just a lying bitch. That's just true, whether you like it or not.
Response. So that's a clear level of hypocrisy here. And also people are bringing up that she's always talking about mental health and men's mental health.
It's every single one of this. It's every single time you see like a female VTuber say, think about men's mental health, that is a grift. That is a grift. That is because you want parasocial fans to love you and watch your content.
This person saying, a lot of you say you care about men's mental health and then turn around and do stuff like this. Also, Deme has been a piece of crap for a while. Glad you are all noticing now. And she is the type to make routine posts talking about...
No. That's crazy. See that one coming. Damn, if that's not weird, I don't know what is. You mean Happy Men's Day to my fellow men. In many such cases.
Happy Men's Day to my fellow men.
The grift is so obvious.
That is something I talked about in the month of June. June is Men's Health Month, but she's making posts like this and then attacking men for having something horrible happen to them, recognizing their lowest moment.
This is just a grift in order to get only her watchers or anything. It's almost like she wants to be the virtual GF to these poor lonely dudes that watch your streams.
When they're faced with criticism, they don't have any other way of responding. But it's interesting to see how she responds to the misery of chibi reviews, for example, but has a very different level of tolerance and empathy and understanding when it comes to her own life and men in her own life, including her current boyfriend.
I want to get into this. This seems wild.
She made a big series of call-out posts and called him out on stream, where she claimed that he was physically and mentally abusing her. And she would make a response when she briefly left him saying, "I'm free." And goes on saying, after dealing with the things being broken and thrown, screaming in my ear until it rang, having to scream for help till my voice broke because I didn't want my phone taken from me since I took photos of what happened, being pushed, being verbally assaulted, the constant line, the bruises from
Verbally assault is not a real thing, by the way.
being held too hard.
Again, obviously, abusive relationships are real, and no woman should have to go through something like this, etc., etc. But verbal assault is not a real thing.
I just want to move on. Here's the very ironic part. The last thing I want is for people to constantly remind me of everything.
Oh, wow, the cookie crumbles. Wait, so you really don't like digging up really shitty low points in past relationships for internet points? Weird.
So,
a woman online dodging accountability and being fake? No, that can't be possibly real.
in her own situation where she was mistreated, she doesn't want people to constantly remind her of that situation, but she is very, very free to do that to others, apparently. But of course, it goes even deeper than that. The same situation Deme would expand upon in a Twitch stream where she would say that, well, she was hurt with a knife, saying, "We were having an argument that went on for too long, and he started getting his episodes going on, his anger issues, and stuff like that. He grabbed the knife, and I was trying to grab it, and it effing slashed my leg. And now there's like a 7-inch scar. And the, I guess now current boy..."
Obviously, that's a complete nightmare, and literally no one should need to go through that, and you should put that man in jail if he's slashing you with knives. What the fuck?
Friend
Again, I don't know if this is real. This is just her allegation.
confirmed everything that happened, the verbal, physical attacks, and the only thing he would dispute is that he claims it wasn't a knife.
Oh,
it was
because
a
it's
pair
my
of scissors,
fucking
but
baseball
as if
bat.
that makes a really
God
big difference
Same idea,
damn
when you
it.
apparently leave a 7-inch
fuck?
wound on someone else. But of course,
Fucking
as you can
baseball
tell,
bat.
she would eventually get back with him.
I
just
can't put it
months
down
later.
anywhere.
Okay. I was waiting to bust this one out the moment I even heard a little bit about this. How your GF looks at you when you ask her to block the guy who raped her in 2019. Dude, this is an evergreen tweet. This one is evergreen, brother. Oh my god. So you make this whole spiel about this guy being abusive, you get back together with him? Oh my god.
Saying Nikita, the guy in question, and I, a month after canceling him on Twitter. Well, I wouldn't think allegations are really the same as canceling someone, like they're being mean or something like this.
Yeah, no, that's not canceling him. You called him a rapist, sexual abuser, guy that's beating you and shit and losing scars and whatever. No, that's not canceling. That's a really big deal, actually. And again, if that's true, obviously, you should stay away from him. He should go to jail. Slashing you with a pair of scissors or whatever, or a knife, put him in jail. Sure. But no, if these allegations are just fake, you are a monster.
This was pretty serious stuff. But in the replies, she would say, jokes aside, I still to this day get comments everywhere about going back to your abuser. But honestly, I've never been happier and more stable. And she would talk about mental health issues and all these things.
So if your mental health issues caused you to make false allegations about that guy, you're a monster. Unacceptable shit, really. Again, I don't know what's real and what isn't real in online Twitter celebrity world. I don't give a shit,
But she would end it down here by saying, he took care of me in my lowest. It's nice to know people aren't defined by their lowest moments.
It literally gets worse and worse. And now she's out there rubbing it into Cheaty's face that he was cheated on. Oh my god.
To the people that matter. So again, she's talking about, it's nice to know you're not defined by your lowest moments, but this is how she responds to criticism about arts of a VTuber model, rubbing another person's lowest moment in their face and laughing about it. Very, very hypocritical. But of course, she likes to talk about mental health issues and people not caring about it. She continues on a different post saying, I'm not going to lie, it's all about mental health, until you actually see someone struggling and suddenly everyone bats an eye. I will never regret getting hurt by trying to save someone from an attempt. If you make fun of it, you're an absolute waste of air. And honestly, you're hurting me more.
I love how all the virtue signaling backfires. Every single person that wokes ends up woking too close to the sun. It happens every time. Cheated reviews, by the way,
God damn it.
who was cheated on by his fiance, she cheated on him with her old friend group or whatever, he tried to kill himself after that. He tried to kill himself. So here she is, making fun of a guy who tried to kill himself. If you make fun of it, you're an absolute waste of air. Honestly, you're hurting. Dude.
But I guess that doesn't matter.
Dude!
Now keep in mind, a part of Chibi Review's situation was basically drinking himself to death, being very distraught over what happened to him. But of course, that's fair game for her to make fun of. But when she has a similar situation in her life,
close
if
to
you
the
make fun
sun,
of that or
baby.
even bring it.
And this is why the virtue signaling, if it's not real, it always comes back to bite you. Right? If you actually are a moral person, you won't end up getting yourself into these traps where your own words can be used against you. If you end up getting into the position where you have like 30 old tweets that call out your behavior, that means those 30 tweets were all lies. Alright, and it's so obvious.
It up, you're an absolute waste of air, and you're just hurting her more. She knows exactly what she's doing. She is basically adding insult to injury by bringing this up and rubbing it in his face. Now, of course, there's even more hypocrisy. It really never seemed to end. She has talked a lot about the Psychono situation, where, in case you're not familiar, a popular streamer was caught being a serial cheater, and the girlfriend actually took him back as a result of all this. But this was her response to the relationship.
Get over the wall!
the girlfriend is the only person we can feel bad for. I don't know, dude. I feel kind of bad for also the people that he cheated on with because they're coming out with the fact that they're, you know, I don't know.
God damn, he saw me?
Well, what we do know is that
she thinks that the people that he slept with consensually are the victims. Dude.
There's empathy for people being cheated on in this situation, but doesn't feel any sort of empathy. In fact, weaponizes it when it happens to someone who dares to criticize her on Twitter.com. And she also has this attitude of throwing a little shade at the fact that the girlfriend took Psychono back, which is, you know, people draw the levels of irony there. But she's talking about the situation, and people were already criticizing back then, well, you should be aware you have personal experience with someone with high XP, because she said that he must have high XP to be able to keep his girlfriend after all of this. And this is yet another post of her situation, basically saying, stop mentioning my situation with my ex. And of course, she would get
Don't bring up my person, you'll bring up yours.
back with him. So, yeah, she draws this line where you're not allowed to talk about things going on with me and my relationships, but she feels very open doing it to others. And that's why you have posts like this with Parrot saying, the guy's fiance cheats on him with his friend knows about it and doesn't tell him, point and laugh at him for it, LMFAO, your own ex-abuse.
Dude, this thing's right on my ass.
Gathering sympathy for your own abuse, but then turning around and making fun of someone else's abuse. You're a hypocrite. And I think that is a very fair set of criticism, given everything we've seen, right? But she would respond
keep going,
to cheaty reviews. She would say, so you avoid answering why you retweet not safe for work of your avatar despite being upset about it in the post. Then you cheer on him cheating. Interesting. Well, that's the whole thing too, right? Like, she doesn't make it very clear what she even considers not safe for work, because I think a lot of people would consider what she reposts regularly as not safe for work. I mean, it doesn't have to be completely, utterly 100% fully no clothes involved for something to be not safe for work. But then again, that's not really the crux of the criticism here.
God damn it, being chased by the monster. God damn it.
She replies saying, my bad for not wanting to see my model getting pounded, as if that's everything he said. If people want to keep drawing it, then that's their choice, but I'm just not going to support it. Doesn't make sense to you now. She's referring to...
Look out, man!
She described it as like she was a victim. She was like a sexual abuse victim of
Fucking
some sort. Bro, the
cops and the sewer monster after me?
I can still find it. Oh my
Holy crap.
Hybrids absolute woo.
Hey, what's up, man? Dude.
And now she's saying, but you can still do it.
I just had the cops and the sewer monster come after me.
I don't want to see porn of it. It's just a VTuber. Who do you think of when you see it? This is implying sort of that
holy shit.
Sexually harassed when someone creates not safe for work.
Whoa, dude, you fucking scared me.
Hybrids absolute what I miss.
That's kind of what it looks like.
Dude, I had the little sewer goblin and the cops after me.
Whatever makes you uncomfortable, I suppose. But
Fuck, there's a cop right there. I gotta get back to my hotel room because Benji's out of weed.
That you designed to be sexualized when you are retweeting sexualized art of that character.
A reply she would add on to the original thread where she says, I just feel like there's so many other content creators who would love to have artists draw them in that way, and it's a wasted effort towards me. But I'd like to make this clear, I'm completely okay with sexy stuff. She just doesn't like full-blown adult content. But of course, you know, cheaty reviews would say, so you could have answered first like this, but used personal attacks and sheer cheating. Not a good look. And yeah, I mean, the fact that that's exactly where she went first is a pretty telling thing about the kind of person she is. You can debate about the standards she is expressing, whether or not she's following through on that.
I love how virtually every single online, like, viral woman drama is woman has an
Hybrids absolute you can bribe the sewer goblin to leave you alone with meth.
Can you? I didn't know that. I don't know how you do that, but I usually just punch it a couple, 2-3 times and it runs away. But
Hybrids absolute yeah, if he comes after you hold it I think.
My past history of personal stories that I made public.
Alright, well, what am I doing? Oh.
She's like mad that people bring it up. And then she uses other people's past history as like dunks on them. Bro, woking too close to the sun. It just destroys you. Any such cases. Bro, this meme is just infinite. It's crazy. I don't understand, bro. How women dodging accountability like Neo dodging.
Hybrids absolute ELL take it from you run away and smoke it to pacify himself.
The way you go about it.
I'll try it.
Instead of the giant crash out, she would have just been like, hey, I get why you think I'm hypocritical about this. It's just my opinion. You can do whatever you like. Like, literally no one would...
I just ran into the sewer. I was trying to hide from the cops, but the cops then chased me into the sewer. And then I ended up running into the goblin while I was running through the sewer. And I thought I heard him again.
Now for the best news of the generation. Federal officials have served subpoenas to the Marxist political influencer Hassan Piker and Code Pink co-founder Susan Maldia Benjamin as part of a wider investigation into whether U.S. organizations and leaders violated U.S. laws and sanctions by supporting Cuba's communist regime. Absolute cinema. Bro is literally 500,000% fucked. He is going to jail. It's happening. We're finally here. They subpoenaed Hassan. 500% fucked, man. Massive day for the unemployed. Literally everyone was celebrating when we heard this news. Oh, yes. We have a lot of performative activist L's that we need to talk about. And I honestly, I'm super excited too, because this is the greatest fucking shit in the universe. Now, this is one of those stories that gets better and better the more you actually research. So, you know, Hassan Piker subpoenaed by the feds for activities in Cuba. Absolute cinema. For those of you that are unaware, Hassan Piker and all of his performative activist buddies, they all went to Cuba to protest and be like, no, I hate that the communist regime is falling apart. We need them to keep oppressing, starving, and censoring their citizens who are crying for help. Yes, huge W. The Cartier communist, Hassan Piker, decided to abdicate his golden throne and come down to the immortals, where him and a bunch of other terrorist supporter celebrities decided to all go to Cuba and lick the balls of communist dictators. You know, classic leftist bullshit shenanigans. Am I right? So, of course, we got some people on the left be like, oh, they just created 1 million Hassan Pikers. So here's a visualization of 1 million Hassan Pikers. Just colossal W everywhere. 1 million Hassan Pikers have been created. Truly fantastic stuff. Now, Hassan Piker is wondering, why are all the people coming after him now? He was literally such a good guy, and all of a sudden everyone is coming to destroy him. Well, this is literally from his stream yesterday, and I'm not even kidding you. It's the most quintessential Hassan Piker response you might ever see in your life.
Because I do want to fucking do this, if given the option. I would love to fucking duke it out on Israeli television. Oh my god. Not that Tucker Carlson gives a shit. Bro, by the way, I mean, look.
I'm ready.
Speaking of
I just wanted to show you the context to show you the level of rent-free that this following clip is about to be.
I might have more name recognition in Israel than I do in America at this point.
No one in Israel knows who you are, little bro. They're busy killing terrorists.
I've been joking when I say this. Like, look, this is from the Times of Israel. Chris Rabb won Pennsylvania 3rd. Times of Israel's article title is Anti-Israel Democrat backed by AOC and Hassan Piker wins nomination for U.S. House in Pennsylvania. Bro, Kayagate happened on October 7th.
Kayagate, for the record, is where people realized he was electrocuting his dog. You know, because he's a dog-abusing piece of shit. You know, the classic. You know, it's a funny coincidence that, like, on the one side, he supports rapist, pedophile, terrorists, and then on the other side, he also abuses little animals. You know, it's pretty interesting how the same guy could have literally all the bad traits.
All the bad traits.
That's right.
They covered it on Israeli news.
Yeah. On Israeli news, they were making fun of you for electrocuting your dog. Based Israeli news. Let's go.
On October 7th. Not October 7th, 2023, of course, but October 7th, 2025.
Okay.
Think about
2 years after Hamas terror attack. Yeah.
About that.
Okay, I'm thinking.
Bro, they're writing nonstop.
Think about that, everybody. That's right. Think about that. Think about that. It was on October 7th, 2025, that Israel reported on the fact that I was electrocuting my dog. Hassan is blaming Israel and the Jews for him shocking his dog. God, he's so gay. It's unbelievable. He is so fucking gay. It's crazy. Now, so, of course, this is his reaction to the news of federal officials giving him a subpoena for committing treason, basically. The American government would rather try to criminalize delivering aid to a country we've starved than punish the Epstein blast. First of all, anyone that says the term Epstein class is probably retarded. Second of all, they're literally starving because of communism. They're starving because the elites in that country are starving their own people. The people on the top of the communist hierarchy are literally starving the civilians. They have billions of dollars that they are not distributing to the poor. Because this idea of just, in communism, the wealth is just distributed equally, whatever. It's not. It's literally not, because you always need an oppressive ruling class. And those guys are keeping the billions. So yes, the American government would, yes, indeed, not criminalize trying to liberate that country. No. They're trying to criminalize American citizens committing acts of treason, aiding and abetting rival and adversarial communist regimes that we are basically at war with. All right? Then punish the Epstein class. Motherfucker, you are the Epstein class. You are the Epstein class, dude. This is the guy that went to a brothel in Germany that was raided for sex trafficking children, okay? Okay, all right, let's be real here. This guy went to Diddy parties. All right, so yeah, this is just an image of Hassan Piker, saving Cuba. Anyway, Rep. Anna Polina Luna, I have confirmed that this is true, and there are receipts. We are aware of multiple foreign influencer campaigns that are actively tracking both the intermediary companies receiving these funds as a pass-through of the influencers who are failing to disclose their compensation. We need far stricter disclosure laws for foreign influencer marketing ops. Dude, Hassan Piker is so fucked, it's crazy. Also, new collar patch notes. So the old collar was +2 shock damage. The current one is 3 fire damage. As you can see, they replaced the collar with this big, ominous red fucking button. A federal official subpoenaed political streamer Hassan Piker. Hey, Hassan. Here's what I want to show this to you. Not only are people that don't like getting assassinated by Muslims, like me, who I'm not a fan of getting assassinated by Muslims personally, so that's why I'm super happy about this, because he supports the Muslim terrorists that don't want me dead. But also, Colossal W, the liberals, like the center-left liberals, they're also fucking celebrating that Hassan Piker is going to roach hell.
But they would do the exact same thing. Democrats, if they were in charge right now, would be doing 100% the exact same thing. 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Make no fucking mistake. Anyone who tries to tell you that Kamala Harris would be different is a fucking delusional moron.
That's right. Hassan Piker refused to endorse Kamala Harris because he wanted someone even more far left. All right? So the liberals, the libtards are eating him alive. Literally absolute cinema. It's just the greatest thing ever. Now, for those of you unaware, we are currently engaged in some form of warfare with Cuba. All right, I covered this previously, so I'm not gonna, tread ground already. I have a lot to do. Every day I cover all the things here on the channel. Definitely subscribe. All right, but Marcus Rubius, first of his name, next president of the United States, arguably, dropped a 5-minute call to arms, basically telling the people of Cuba to rise up against the government, and we're here to help. He actually just went to Cuba. The CIA director just went to Cuba. All right? I don't think people are aware of what's going on. This has over 6 million views. It seems like a big number. It seems like a lot, some would even say. But that's what we're seeing here on the thing. That's what we're seeing on the thing. Please, Trump, I'll do anything. I'll fucking suck your dick. You want me to eat your shit? I'll eat your fucking shit. Please, Trump. No. So Hassan Piker having a terrible day. Hassan tries to collab with Ashley St. Clair. This is like one of Elon Musk's exes, just trying to basically shit on him. He's just like an actual disgusting human being, actually. It's pretty hilarious. Yeah, so like obviously he hooks up with her. He tries to release all of these private messages that Elon Musk sent to the public. He's just a gross fucking guy. It's actually crazy how disgusting and decrepit one guy could be. It really is. So AT&T is working with this guy, Burnt Peanut. He's like a big streamer. Hassan Piker crashes out because Burnt Peanut doesn't want to have anything to do with the dog shocking terror supporter. I'm reminded of when AT&T blacklisted me for participating in events they sponsored due to my Palestine advocacy. Palestine advocacy means support of terrorists raping, brutalizing, and murdering Jews. I hope you understand. He had literal Houthi terrorists on his stream. All right, just understand. Palestine advocacy means advocating for the rape and murder of Jews and abduction. Just trying to put this into perspective what Palestine activism actually means these days. Calling it Palestine activism won't change what you defended. This is a quote as shown on CNN. I'm telling you, man, the libtards are eating each other. It doesn't matter if fucking rapes happened on October 7th. Like, that doesn't change the dynamic for me. The Palestinian resistance is not perfect. This is Hassan Piker's advocacy for Hamas terrorists. to rape as many Jews as they can, because look, it doesn't change the dynamic for him even one bit. Pretty awesome, you know. And this is just apparently a Palestine advocacy, the advocacy for Palestinians to rape as many Jews as they want. What do we want? You expect them to not rape? Please, that's what Mohammed would have done. We love it when Palestinians rape Jews. You want them to go against their teaching? You are so Islamophobic that you don't want Muslims to take Jewish sex slaves. Oh, shit! Islamophobia off the charts. Now, the crazy thing is, in Fox News' actual subpoena, you know, in their article, they talk about how Hassan Piker was subpoenaed by the United States government. Fox News did this. Fox News Digital recently observed Piker outside his Los Angeles home escorting his dog Kaya outside the house for a bathroom break early one morning. Kaya, a large breed dog that is a mix of Tibetan Mastiff, Chow Chow, and St. Bernard, has been the beloved subject of an online campaign dubbed Free Kaya. Over allegations, Piker trained Kaya with a shock collar that transmits painful stimuli as part of behavior training. At one moment, Piker silently stood over Kaya and gestured with a finger for her to return to the house after relieving herself. Later, Kaya was observed being walked and driven by a woman leaving Piker's home. The fact that we got an entire Free Kaya paragraph, all right, about how this terrorist-supporting motherfucker also shocks his dog is just absolute cinema. This is la crème de la crème. This is the cherry on top, man. From the front door to the tree, Kaya will be free. You know, Senator Rick Scott, by the way, the guy that Hassan Piker told his audience to murder. I don't know why he's not in jail now. But he will be. Huge W, it'll happen. Rick Scott ripped the communist Democrats who keep defending Cuba's regime. Bro, I feel like this is personal for him. It's crazy.
This is not somebody from World War II. This is somebody that in this year, okay, this is a picture from this year in Cuba. So when Democrats go down there and campaign for the regime, they're campaigning to do this to a human being.
I mean, to be fair, that's exactly what Hamas did to the, Jewish captives in Gaza. And Hassan Piker supported that. Why don't... Hassan Piker loves starving innocent people. It's like his favorite thing. He loves doing it. He loves it. He loves it. That's the only conclusion I can come to by the fact that he supports so many instances of starving innocent people. It's crazy.
Alexander Diaz-Rodriguez is, I think, 45 years old. Look how old he looks in this. You know why? He was starved. He was tortured. He has cancer. They didn't give him treatment. That's the face.
Hassan Piker loves that, by the way. Hassan Piker's dream is not giving cancer treatment to people that don't like communism. Of course, Hassan Piker's favorite guy decided he was going to go do a live stream. All right, so this is the mayor of New York City doing a live stream on Twitch. He got 7,000 viewers and a lot of gigantic penises posted in his chat. You know, he shared penises with the world the way Al-Zut always intended. Before getting too deep into the chaos, free cash was promised to me 3,000 years ago. One thing I recently added to my daily routine is using free cash for a few minutes here and there.
All right, okay there, buddy.
The time sponge, I might as well make some money.
Make yourself comfortable.
Free cash is a fun and easy way to earn real money by doing simple tasks while already on your phone. Play games. Complete surveys, do simple tasks, and turn your bathroom break into an investment. I've been enjoying playing Call to Dragons on Free Cash, a high payout strategy-based building game. You get instant payouts with a really easy process through PayPal, Amazon, or Visa. There's already over $250 million paid out to over 60 million users worldwide. It's a win-win. They get someone to test out their games and fill out their surveys, and you get paid. Use the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to sign up and get a $10 bonus today. Now, back to the chaos. Every individual sign up literally supports the channel, so if you could click the link in the description and do the thing, that would be very appreciated. Now, here's the crazy update, speaking of activists finding out. Because, as we've already mentioned, the Free Palestine movement is fucking retarded. They really are. It's honestly incredible how often they can sit there and make believe they're supporting these retards who keep losing wars that they start. And you'd think they've learned their lesson. They start another war and lose that one too. The Palestine movement goes fucking crazy again. You know, they're not going to support the Christians getting genocided in Nigeria or Sudan, the Somalilanders getting genocided by the Somalians, the 5 million people killed in the war between Rwanda and the Congo. You know, they're done with Ukraine. They don't care about that shit anymore. They don't care about 650,000 people killed in Syria, the 377,000 people killed in Yemen. They don't care about any of that shit. Specifically, the retarded morons that keep starting wars and losing, those are the guys that these guys love so much. So approximately 175 activists from more than 20 boats of the Condom Flotilla are making their way peacefully to Israel. All right, so Greta Thunberg keeps sending more flotillas to break into Israel. I guess they're going to free Palestine by sending a couple of homosexuals. Maybe they'll spread AIDS or something. Maybe that's their dream. So this is them on the Condom Flotilla. They call it that because they ended up figuring out they basically have no aid on any of their aid convoys, and it's just gigantic orgies of homosexuals. It's pretty good stuff. Greta Thunberg, of course, crying about how Israel abducted the people.
The other day, Israel illegally intercepted over 20 boats, civilian ships of the Global Summit Flotilla, and violently abducted almost 200 of the participants over 1,000 kilometers away from Gaza.
Let's go!
The majority of these were released and dropped off in Crete after many had been...
So then they weren't abducted? They were just kind of deported, based when they tried to invade their country illegally? God, I wish every country would do that to people that try to come into countries illegally.
And 2 of these still remain detained and were illegally brought to Israel, where it has been confirmed that they are now being tortured. And these people are safe.
There is zero confirmation of that, by the way.
Listen, with Palestinian papers, and Tiago, a Brazilian citizen, they are being detained based on made-up accusations following their commitment to Palestinian liberation.
Palestinian liberation means supporting terrorists and invading Israel illegally.
Solidarity with Palestine.
They have so much solidarity.
Oppressed people, and they are committed friends, comrades, fathers, and sons, and we demand their immediate release. They are
well, it's a good thing the Goblin got involved, because now Israel has nothing. What's Israel gonna do? What is Israel gonna do?
The Goblin got involved.
Troglodyte over here. The Doom Goblin, Greta Thunberg. It's all over now. You know, of course, Zoran Mamdani feels the need to condemn it because this is definitely important to New York affairs. Last night, Israeli forces intercepted and boarded a humanitarian aid flotilla bound for Gaza in international waters off the coast of Greece, unlawfully detaining more than 175 people. Actually, it's totally lawful. They were trying to invade a blockade.
Oh, why are you doing that to my arm, buddy?
And first of all, I don't even care.
Why would you do that to me?
Just to be clear, I think international law is fake and gay. I'm not going to sit here and defend it. But even under the fake and gay international law, it's completely lawful to stop people from invading your country and breaking your blockade illegally. Yeah, you don't want them to actually be supplying aid to terrorists, I guess, but it's a brazen violation of international law, which it isn't. But it's also, what the fuck, this is in New York! Alright, so of course this is how the flotilla members were liberating the Palestinians, as you can see, by doing sexy dances. I mean, this would get you executed in Gaza, but hey, you never know. Now, these are the people from the Gaza flotilla, as you can
Hybrids
see.
Absolute one is Spark.
By Israeli rape dogs.
Yeah, give me a sec here.
Yeah. My mistake. There's no Israeli rape dogs, but clearly you can see he is standing here making.
Yeah, I gotta get another dealer going because I'm running out of room in my.
Can you believe he's handcuffed with 0 handcuffs?
My distribution
the most performative people on the planet.
facility.
Guys are just like, what the fuck is he doing? Like, why is he doing it? Why is he doing this? Right, so anyway, of course, Itamar Ben-Gvir. Alright, so this guy is one of the...
I left my other lighter way over there.
Guys. He's a little retarded. He basically went to all these people that invaded the country, that were captured, the flex on them? I'm not sure.
Free Palestine!
This guy over here. And welcome to Israel. We are the hosts here. Yeah. So again, I think he's a bit of a retard. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna sit here and make believe this isn't retarded. Now, to be clear, I don't really give a shit about what happens to these people that tried to invade another country illegally and are getting deported. But at the same time, what the fuck is this whole circus shit? Now, of course, the world crashed out. Maloney, who is freaking out that Ben-Gvir went and he flexed on the people that invaded their country illegally and are getting deported. So she crashed out about this, and she's the leader of Italy. All right, the images of the Israeli minister Ben-Gvir are unacceptable. It is inadmissible that these demonstrators that invaded another country illegally, including many Italian citizens, are subject to this treatment that violates human dignity. What? That he made them kneel? Are you serious? The Italian government is immediately taking the highest institutional levels, all necessary steps the Italian involved. Italy for the demand, and they got their apology. Pedro Sanchez from Spain. The images of the Israeli minister Ben Gvir humiliating members of the international flotilla in support of Gaza are unacceptable. Okay. Okay. We will not tolerate anyone mistreating our citizens
I'm gonna need
that
bags.
invaded another country illegally. In September, I announced the ban of the national territory for this member of the Israeli government. I mean, to be fair, I think Ben Gvir is retarded, so I'm not gonna sit here and make believe he's not. But the craziest thing is, while he is out there, Pedro Sanchez, screaming about Israel, all right, screaming about how America is doing war crimes, how Israel is evil and abducting people that are invading their country or something. This is the riots or protests rather, on the streets of Spain, calling for the deposition and removal of this tyrant, this communist motherfucker. Tens of thousands of Spanish patriots stormed the streets of socialist left-wing PM Pedro Sanchez that betrayed his people. You know, this is right after the UK march. You know, people are really tired of this far-left bullshit. Because this stuff sucks, man. These people suck. For the record, this guy just let in 500,000 Syrians and just, poof, decided to give them citizenship so that they could vote in elections. And wow, he won! Wow! So again, people are really tired of this infinite garbage, you know? I love the internet, man. Anti-government protests erupted in Spain as crowds in Madrid demand Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez resign. Can you guess who's behind the protests? Yes, your guess is as good as mine. Israel must be manipulating tens of thousands of Spanish patriots to stand up against communism. It must be the Jews! Bro, there is a level of brain rot here that is just absolutely cinema. Alright, so activists from the Provocation Flotilla are seen hugging after being transferred to Israeli vessels. So far, no aid has been found on the boats. They didn't even find aid on the aid convoy. But this was the real twist. Alright, so Spanish flotilla activists, they arrived in Bilbao Airport in Spain, and they were, you know, doing whatever the protesters normally do. So this is in Spain, all right, after they were deported, all right, and they're trying to block doorways and shit, and the Spanish police beat the fuck out of them. Oh my god. Wow, turns out these guys fucking suck, huh? Wow. So tired of it. Look at this bitch cower and hide. All right, so the Israeli Foreign Ministry is sitting there. I don't know what they're fucking smoking. The flotilla anarchists are driving the Spanish police crazy. It's just the Spanish police beating the shit out of these fucking retard flotilla people. You know, it's a miracle. Thank God the flotilla anarchists made a full recovery in no time. All right, so this is one of the people that was on the flotilla, and she did an interview with like CNN talking about how she was going to rescue Palestine, and she was stopped and injured by the genocidal Israeli entity. And anyway, this was her after getting deported. Yeah, she was like making believe she was paralyzed from the neck down over here in a hospital bed for her little interview to talk about how she was brutalized because this is all for the sake of advocacy for 67 IQ Palestinian inbreds that keep starting wars and losing. It's so important. All right, and then, of course, obviously it was all fake. Obviously, none of these people actually... Miracles happen! Wow! This is a young German activist trying so hard to fight for Palestine.
For me, it's hard because I know how they...
كان الأمر صعبا علي لأن...
She knows how they suffer as it gets released on CNN Turkey. For some reason, that's a thing that exists. Oh no! Anyway, this is her after arriving after getting deported, I think to Spain or Germany or whatever the fuck, and she's fine. So thank God she had a full recovery from her fake trauma. Colossal W. Now, in my opinion, this is one of the greatest trolling posts I've ever seen, ever, come out of Israel, because normally Israel PR is like dog shit. So the flotilla activists ended up getting deported to Spain, and the Spanish police beat the fuck out of them. Just colossal W, Spanish police. And Israel did this. We demand an explanation from the Spanish government regarding its treatment of the flotilla anarchists. Absolute fucking cinema. Absolute cinema. Just to understand, all right? We got Pedro Sanchez, like the Prime Minister of Spain, releasing like big condemnations for after the flotilla people tried to invade Israel illegally. They were abducted, quote unquote, and deported in full perfect health. They end up getting deported to Spain, and then the Spanish police beat the shit out of them. Then we have Israel demanding an explanation for the Spanish government regarding its treatment of the flotilla anarchists. All right, just understand what we're dealing with here. This is one of the flotilla people.
Thank you, because you're also holding the Iran flag for...
That's right. It's these absolute anti-West retards, these liberal cucks that are protesting for Iran and for Palestine. Two people that have notoriously always been overwhelmingly peaceful. Now, I have fantastic news for everyone that's on part of these protests. If you're watching this video and you're still unsure about what to think about these poor protesters that tried to invade another country illegally and got deported, I have fantastic news. Great news, everyone. It turns out the person, Karim Khan, the guy who was in charge of the International Criminal Court that was talking about genocide for the last 3 years in Gaza, breaking news, he actually apologized and said that he found no evidence of any genocide.
Structure.
You're not ruling out that there could be a warrant in the future?
Everything is a function of evidence. I will not move. It would be a reckless and
You're saying
imprudent
the past 3
prosecutor.
years there hasn't been
Hey there.
It would be,
You alright?
It would be a reckless prosecutor to move simply because of clamour. You move based upon evidence.
Seem a little jumpy there.
20th of May,
Anything I can help you with?
And if you also read the panel
eyes
report,
a little twitchy.
they also talk about ongoing
Alright,
investigations
well,
and
you take it
applications,
easy.
and more than that, I simply can't say. The suffering in that situation is immense. The investigation is
But
not
is it a
closed, and
genocide?
it continues. And the court, the men and women of the office, continue to work, and we will not blink or be
So
deterred.
genocide is not off limits. You haven't ruled it
No
out.
crime.
No, please, don't put it off limits. Maybe you'll change your mind about it, genocide later. We need this to be a genocide. Please. And if not, maybe we'll get the Israelis to kill some more Palestinians so we can make it a genocide. Wink, wink. Right, they've always been standing on the corpses of these people and these children that have horribly, unfortunately, been killed over the course of this war that they started. All right, honestly, it's tragic that these children are dead, and they died because the retards decided to start a war and refuse to end it and use human shields and fire missiles from hospitals and missiles from not just universities but nurseries. But again, terrorists, Islamists, radical motherfuckers, and according to the United Nations, 70% of buildings in Gaza were destroyed, but yet only 1% of the population was killed. Anyone that calls that a genocide, in my opinion, is either trying to push a narrative or they're just retarded. Franklin fakes an injury to free Palestine, and that's just basically where we're at these days. Every single one of these stupid, dumb fuck activists LARPing too close to the sun and getting absolutely obliterated for it. Absolute cinema highlight of the day.
Hey, you're watching my official compilation channel, but if you want to see my newest videos as soon as they're uploaded, check out my main channel, Chat History. Alright, enjoy the video. Embarrassing Royal Deaths. Part 3. This noble set of nostrils is none other than Charles VIII, the only surviving son of French King Fela, Louis XI. The year is 1483, and thanks to a generous inheritance from his dad's cold corpse, he is now the new French King Fela of France at the angsty age of just 13. But since teenagers aren't the most qualified to rule entire kingdoms, his 22-year-old sister, Anne, took the reins as head of the kingdom until Charles came of age. God, these artists were mean. Now, to her credit, Anne was a pretty solid ruler in her own right, keeping the Kingdom of France afloat for 8 years until Charles's 21st birthday in 1491. She was able to stomp out rebellious nobles and maintain strong royal authority. But now, it was the super schnoz himself up to bat. His first major strategy as King of France was to sign all kinds of peace treaties to make extra super sure that no one was going to invade. After all, the 100 Years' War just ended not that long ago, so he kinda needed some peace of mind. So for a little while, Charles remained on the defensive, until it was time to not do that. If you know geography, you know that just a croissant's throw to the southeast is the Italian peninsula, full of Italians. Around this time, the region consisted of a whole mishmash of kingdoms and republics, with the biggest bit of the boot being the Kingdom of Naples, headed by one King Ferdinand I. He was a dick. So much so that the friggin' Pope of all people encouraged the peaceful Charles to invade and take the kingdom for himself. Side note, Naples once belonged to France, but then Ferdinand's dad, King Alfonso V, yoinked that shit several decades back for the Kingdom of Aragon. You're following all of this, right? So with that plan in his back pocket, the seemingly innocent Pope proceeded to persuade. You like it in Naples? You take it to Naples. Come on, you take it to Naples. What's he saying about nipples? Oh.
What
With
the
some
hell's this?
questionable encouragement, Charles
Oh,
switched
it's
to
that.
attack mode, prepping France for full invasion. King Ferdinand, seeing French forces looming on the French horizon, warned his kingdom and allies of the
Thanks to our beautiful B-2 bombers and their brilliant pilots, and now blend and destroy it, whether in Iran or in the United States. We look forward to working with Iran and the entire Middle East long into the future. Hopefully this process can all work quickly, easily, and smoothly. And if it doesn't, we have the ultimate alternative, which hopefully will never be used again. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. So when you read something like this, we're making some sort of nuke agreement with Iran that will prevent them from having a nuke. It will help us get the dust. Their threat to us, ultimately, will disappear. And ultimately, I am America first. I would like to see this entire Islamic regime destroyed, because I actually just don't trust them. I don't believe them that they would honor any word or agreement, unless they actually see certain fail-safe methods put into place. That's one. And two, I feel terrible for the Iranian people if this shit happens. Right, these guys have been massacred in their street, 40,000 of them, and Donald Trump is just going to be like, all right, so we'll keep the Islamic regime active, we'll just make sure they can't get a nuke. For Donald Trump, the guy that told the Iranian people, rise up to the streets, stuff like that, you know, we take note of the names of the people that kill you, we will take revenge, you know, stuff like that. You know, I see that, and I'm like, what did he mean by that exactly? When Donald talks about this Iran deal, he almost does it from the perspective of, God saved my life multiple times when people shot bullets at me. I am going to save our country from this Iranian threat. You know, like, he talks about that, and it's like, it really just seems like you're kind of letting them off here. And the thing is, which is very interesting, Donald Trump knows this. So mark my words when I tell you, this peace deal is probably just another phase in the gigantic Donald Trump war book plan to eventually destroy these motherfuckers. We'll see what happens, ultimately. I could be completely wrong here and misreading it, but I actually think that the Donald knows exactly what we are dealing with over there. And I'm curious to see how this plays out. I'm not a panicking, and I never have been, and I never will be. If you wanted to make the argument to never have started the war, that's definitely one perspective.
What is it?
But once we started,
LA Thunderfuck?
I do want to bomb the shit out of them once we started, so that we win. I want them waving their little white flags and shit. And if they
LA
have too
Thunderfuck.
much ego to do that, then we keep bombing them. That's my stance in general when it comes to warfare. Now, JD has locked in, and he has said some very questionable things. I'm seeing a lot of fake information about a potential deal to reopen the strait and end Iran's nuclear program. First, the Iranians are not receiving any cash. No funds are being released simply by signing a
Hybrids
deal or
absolute.
attending a
How
meeting.
was
The
dinner?
deal is structured to ensure that the U.S. and its allies' concerns are prioritized.
Was alright, I
And
just had
that
ramen.
The Islamic Republic of Iran meets its obligations, and economic benefits will flow to them and to the entire region. The deal has the potential to remake the region and lead to lasting peace. I've noticed a couple of bizarre things in the reporting over the last few hours. Firstly, the people who rightly said Donald Trump was a historic president a month ago are now criticizing a deal based on unconfirmed media reports. I completely agree with this, by the way. The backstabbing is insane. You know, Trump starts the war, everyone's saying that he's backstabbing America. You know, they stab him in the back, because he's starting a war, he said no new wars. The reality is Iran's been at war with us for 47 years. He said for the last 40 years his plan was to destroy Iran. Alright, he did not betray America by going to war with Iran. He was following through on basically everything he's always said.
Man, nobody wants my my super
So
mess.
a lot of people backstabbed him over that, and now people are backstabbing him over a deal. I really feel like it's kind of disgusting that we're not letting him cook. Second, people who say you can't trust a word said by the IRGC now apparently believe anonymously sourced social media posts. Also true. True. People are just being like, oh, well, the Islamic Republic said that America's folding. Why the fuck do you believe these retards? The president is going to get us a good outcome one way or another, and ultimately, I am counting on that. So I do like this tweet. Now, one thing that I didn't like was JD said something retarded.
Kristen, this is how wars ultimately get settled. If you go back to World War
We'll talk to
II,
the
if you go back
blue-haired
World War
chick.
I, if you go back to every major conflict in human history, they all end with some kind of negotiation. Kristen,
that is bullshit. That is fucking lies. Sorry, Mr. JD. I like Mr. JD in general, but this shit's fucking shit.
Hey, Liz.
This is propaganda slop. That they're
Can
trying to
I
sell
interest
guys
you
with
in
drugs.
a
No. World War
free
II did not
sample?
end with negotiations. Community note. World War II ended with unconditional surrender by Germany on May 8th, 1945, and Japan on September 2, 1945.
Yeah,
rather
turned
than
you into a
negotiations.
red-headed
That's right.
cyclops.
Remember when we dropped 2 nukes on Japan, and then Japan waved the white flag because
we dropped 2 nukes on their ass and we could have done that more times? Yeah,
All
that's called
right, let's see
unconditional
who
surrender.
else.
That was not negotiation.
Who's this
and
guy?
I actually believe in the doctrine
Lewis.
of winning wars. If the war starts, we need to win it. Wind down with negotiations and shit? Nah.
Hey,
do
Louis,
not
what's up?
believe in
Your
negotiating with
sample?
terrorists, which is why I am hoping and I expect this negotiation on Trump's part to be part of a master plan. Now, JD, on the other hand, has been pushing for this the entire
Seriously?
time, to the point that he's rewriting history as well. And that shit's weird. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't like that guy.
Now, in Iran, and I think this is one of the things that
Who's
Donald
this
Trump
guy?
is counting on, special
Good old
forces
Eugene
gatherings
Buckley.
of Basij and IRGC members at 9 p.m. in several parts of Tehran using batons and tear gas.
Good baseball
Once
player
the
name.
surrender document is signed, they're done for. All that's left is the right moment to call to action and overthrow. See, I think this is one of the major things that the Donald is planning. All right, on the one hand, I believe that American foreign policy
Where are you at,
needs to be
G?
utilized
Are you in
purely
this
and
building
utterly for
here?
the benefit of America. I really do believe that. I know it's a controversial take, but I am very.
Hey, how you
American in this
doing?
regard. If we go to war with Iran, I think that we should be going to war with Iran because they pose a threat to us. All right, and we have. So I think that the Donald might be using this peace deal after weakening them severely through our bombing campaigns. We wiped out their navy, their military,
Suburbia, huh?
to the point that they could get overthrown from within,
Old
on a
Reverend.
much easier level. And I do believe that the CIA will probably be arming and giving weapons to the Iranian people. See, I think this is
Who's
all
this
part
guy?
of the Donald strategy. Still kicking off in Iran. Infighting is pissing off the IRGC leadership. Now, Iran's Fars news agency, this is just 4 hours
talk
ago,
to
says
Phil.
no final decision
Living
has
at the
been taken
mayor's
on the
house.
deal with the U.S. Again, you can never trust Iran, and this is also being posted by Al Jazeera, who fucking sucks and they're horrible. So this shouldn't exactly be surprising to you either. But the point is, all right, there's still a lot of shaky shit, and I see so many people complaining on all sides. In my personal life, I have heard bitching about this, and it's when
Not
did everyone
interested.
become panicking? Why are there no balls on any man that goes and cries and bitches about this? Hold up, bro. You let him cook. Oh my God. Now, Trey Yinks, this is Fox News reporter, says Israel struck Hezbollah in the Lebanese capital Beirut. This followed Hezbollah fire into northern Israel overnight. In fact, over the whole weekend, they've been firing into northern Israel. And this is the moment IDF struck Hezbollah's command center in Beirut, Lebanon. This is the capital of Lebanon. Well, let's just say this is a very, very big moment. And a lot of people are very upset about this. Mostly Hezbollah terrorists are upset about this. Yeah, mostly Hezbollah. Not very happy about the fact that Israel managed to fuck up their headquarters in their capital city. Especially because Iran has essentially stated the entire time, how dare you touch Beirut? Never, never. So just understand, Israel attacks Hezbollah targets in Beirut in retaliation to attacks on northern Israel. Netanyahu says, why this matters is because Iran threatened to retaliate for any Israeli attack on Beirut. Now, the Israeli military notified Central Command shortly before the strike in Beirut. This is according to both Israeli and U.S. officials. I believe Axios published this. Netanyahu said himself, we attacked in Daya in Beirut, targets of the terror organization Hezbollah. Israel will not tolerate fire into its territory. And I'm not going to lie to you, I think this is still in lines with the Donald Trump strategy. There is no reason why Israel, or any other country for that matter, should tolerate getting bombed by terrorist organizations across their border and not do anything. And I fully stand with that, I'm not gonna lie. Israel warned that any Hezbollah rocket fire would be met with strikes on Beirut. Hezbollah launched 6 attacks on northern Israel. Israel struck Beirut. Iran calls Israel's strike an attempt to sabotage the deal and vows a response. You know, it's the classic cycle of terrorism every time. All right, you got the terrorists bombing civilians, and the terrorists complain when they face consequences. Etc., etc. Around and around we go. The Middle East war update. IRGC is not happy with Trump's deal. Hezbollah breaks ceasefire by hitting Israel. IDF launches strikes into Beirut. IRGC vows to return to war if Beirut is hit. And there you got your classic middle sand people hullabaloo. Right, the sand people are fighting again, guys. Iran peace deal is still scheduled to be signed today, according to the President of the United States. And this was posted after Israel strikes in Beirut. My stance is simple. I think that Hezbollah, a terror organization that killed 240 of our Marines in Beirut, could fucking eat shit and die. And if Israel wants to take care of them, then I salute my brothers in the sand wars for fucking killing those motherfuckers. Based as fuck. Keep doing that, please. Of course, a lot of the critics are like, but how could they just pinpoint strike the headquarters in Beirut, but they're destroying entire villages in southern Lebanon? Because there are terrorists that have dug hundreds of miles of tunnels
tunneling from Lebanon into Israel in those southern villages, so they need to clear out the people to destroy the tunnels. That's like one of the major conflict situations. In fact, over 60% of the operations that Israel had in Gaza were dismantling tunnels that Hamas terrorists have been digging. Because we, and by we I mean Americans, have been funding Hamas for years through USAID and various other projects, and they have been taking that money to build tunnels into Israel instead of infrastructure. Instead of building up, they build down. Fucking rats. I actually just think Islamic terrorists are deplorable humans, and honestly, whenever they die, it's just cause for celebration, actually. Kill them before they kill you. That is biblical doctrine, and it's based, actually. In other news, because Donald can't just keep focusing on one thing at a time, President Trump announced the U.S. military assassinated Venezuela's Tendria Aragua gang leader, Nino Guerrero, in kinetic strike, bro. While we are dealing with a major conflict in the Middle East, we are still eliminating terrorists in our backyard. Fucking W. Holy shit, that's insane. So, this is what the Donald decided to post. It's quite the banger. And my direction, the United States Southern Command delivered a swift and lethal kinetic strike to successfully eliminate Nino Guerrero, infamous leader of Tren de Aragua, one of the most bloodthirsty terrorist organizations on planet Earth. We filled out the June bingo card already. Before I returned to office, Joe Biden opened our southern border to millions of illegal criminals and allowed its foreign army to rape, maim, and murder American citizens with total impunity. During my campaign, I pledged to expel these monsters from our country and bring justice to the families of those they slaughtered, including the precious 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungare, 22-year-old Laken Riley, and countless other beautiful souls. With this action, the United States military had brought retribution for them, their families, and their loved ones. Early in my administration, I delivered on the promise to designate Tren de Aragua as a foreign terrorist organization, divorce thousands of evil criminals, and wage war against the cartels who have been waging war against our citizens. While weak leaders left America helpless and defensive, this action was coordinated closely with our friends in Venezuela. Remember when we were told that the operation in Venezuela would fail? With whom we are working very well. As a result, Tren de Aragua terrorists no longer have safe haven in Venezuela or anywhere else. And under my leadership, we will find these vicious murderers and drug lords anytime, any place, and send them to the depths of hell where they belong. God bless America, President Donald J. Trump. And I will sign off by saying, killing terrorists is fucking awesome, actually. Religion of peace becoming religion of pieces very quickly. No, I'm kidding. This was a different terror story. Hey! Not all Muslims are terrorists. Most terrorists are Muslim, but not all. All right, we gotta keep moving. So, speaking of Muslims, the entire Islamic community is losing their mind, and Marco Rubio has been spitting such facts.
Ultimately, all radical Islamic movements in the world identify the West writ large, but the United States in particular, as the greatest evil on the earth. And every chance they have...
You will notice that by how every single Muslim in America hates us, actually. I know, it's like, bro, why are you, like, throwing everyone into, like, one pot? Because they all, what do you want me to say? Like, you got the left-wingers, the Hassan Pikers, the Mehdi Hassans, like, all these fuckers, they hate us. They got the base right-wingers, the Sneakos, they also fucking hate us. Alright, so, like, you proved me wrong by showing me one actually very religious Muslim man that doesn't hate America. And you will not succeed, because it's actually just part of the religion to hate America.
The notion that somehow radical Islam would be comfortable with simply controlling some province in Iraq or Syria is just not borne out by history. Radical Islam has shown that their desire is not simply to occupy one part of the world and be happy with their own little caliphate. They want to expand. It is a
I love that we have people in the government that actually talk like this and are aware of this. You know, this is like the ultimate giga taboo.
In its nature, it seeks to expand and control more territories and more people. And radical Islam has designs openly on the West, on the United States, on Europe. We've seen that progress there as well. And they are prepared to conduct acts of terrorism. In the case of Iran, nation-state actions, assassinations, murders, you name it. Whatever it takes for them to gain their influence and ultimately their domination of different cultures and societies. That's a clear and imminent threat to the world and to the broader West.
God, it's so based for this.
States, who they identify as the chief source of evil on the planet. Okay, the reason why
spray paint?
The Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, the leadership of the UAE, of Bahrain, is because they've allowed the United States to partner with them. That's why they hate them. They consider them infidels for it. They hate Israel. But they also hate America. And they hate anywhere in the world that we have influence. They seek to attack it, including here in the homeland. If you look at the domestic terrorist, at the attacks that happen here domestically, the overwhelming majority of them have been inspired by radical Islamic viewpoints. And that includes the shooting
Parkour.
in the Pulse nightclub in Orlando, Florida. That includes the Saudi pilot in Pensacola, my home state, 2 attacks.
That's right, and you have so many more of those, all right, that are, thank God, thwarted. Now, one of the biggest controversies in regards to foreign
sorry, buddy.
conflicts
Didn't mean to bump you.
years, honestly, was this quote-unquote conspiracy
That was
theory
an unintentional
that the United
bump.
States was funding biolabs in different countries, like Ukraine, for example, with all the money that's getting sent there. And apparently, Tulsi Gabbard, right, the Director of National Intelligence of the United States, just released this. All right, so this is a viral video. It's got 17.5 million views, 234,000 likes. Everyone is talking about it. All right, so lock in. This is insane.
After months of searching through intelligence community holdings
Oh
and
my
files,
God, what is
today
wrong?
I'm releasing new evidence of long-standing U.S. government funding of more than 120 biolabs in over 30 countries.
The thing that we were told we were crazy for asking about. Holy shit-a-moly.
Now, these biolabs include labs in places like Ukraine, which could be at risk of compromise due to the ongoing Russia-Ukraine war. In fact, the intelligence community had previously warned that a U.S.-funded biolab in Ukraine likely housed dangerous pathogens and remained vulnerable to long-standing threats of Russian attack, seizure, or damage. Now, until now, evidence regarding the full existence and funding of these laboratories had been knowingly withheld from you, the American people. Many of these U.S. government-funded biolabs are current...
Told that Donald Trump was not actually being transparent about all this shit, and he's just, you know, like, wading through infinite slop that was kind of left behind by the retards before him. And all of a sudden we're getting, like, information and confirmation of these conspiracies that we were told we were crazy about for years.
Or have previously engaged in research using hazardous and highly contagious pathogens, and in some cases included dangerous gain-of-function research with very little visibility or oversight. Now, President Trump clearly understands the serious threat dangerous gain-of-function research poses to the American people. And this is why he took decisive action over a year ago.
All right,
On May
I
25th,
got him.
2025, he signed an executive order.
We're gonna go
to
find
end
what is his
federal
name,
funding of
Eugene
gain-of-function
Wilbur.
research
What is
around
his
the
name?
world. Here at ODNI, I issued new guidance to the intelligence community directing increased collection on these laboratories and facilities overseas. And we're already seeing the results of this increased collection. We're learning new details, for example, on clinical trials that are underway at these facilities.
Hi,
and that
Kevin.
are raising significant ethical, financial, and security concerns regarding the supposed
Oh, well,
public
I
health
gave the whole
initiatives
stack to
and
that
US
dude, huh?
national security. Now, despite the obvious potential for catastrophic global impact that research on dangerous pathogens in biolabs can have, politicians and so-called health professionals like Dr. Fauci, as well as entities within the Biden administration's national security team, lied repeatedly to the American people about the existence of U.S.-funded and supported biolabs. Not only did they...
That motherfucker. Oh my God. We gotta get rid of these people. We gotta get rid of these people. Oh my God. There has to be consequences for this shit, dude.
They lie. They threaten those who attempted to expose the truth. So this release today breaks new ground, as the information surrounding the existence, history, locations, and funding of these U.S.-funded biolabs has been intentionally covered up by very powerful people who falsely claimed that these biolabs didn't exist. Now, they accuse anyone who says otherwise to be foreign assets and traitors to
That's
America.
right. I remember that. Oh, you're saying that we're funding biolabs in Ukraine? Oh, you fool. You must be working for Russia. Oh my God.
Now, ODNI will continue working closely with partners across the U.S. government to identify exactly where these labs are and what pathogens they contain to end...
Think that the Director of National Intelligence doesn't know that yet. Right? To think that it took a year to figure out they exist, and now we have to spend more time to find them. All right? Just understand the level of the deep state, or whatever, the swamp actually is. This shit's unreal.
And dangerous gain-of-function research that threatens the health and well-being of the American people and people around the world.
Damn, that is crazy. Now, by the way, get ready for Akira. She's probably running for president in 2028. I won't vote for her. Don't get me wrong. But this is absolutely massive. Absolutely huge. All right, now you know why everyone's going after Tulsi Gabbard so hard. All right, because she's fucking tired of this shit too. Unreal that this stuff just gets plopped up on our tax dollars without us knowing about it, and it's not in our best interest, obviously. But I'm so happy that these conspiracies are getting torn down. Now, one of the big conspiracies that is currently being discussed is the fact that Trump and many people of his ilk seem to be actively shilling for Islamic regime propaganda. Like, this dude is on Iran's side of our conflict, all right? Now, you can say that you never wanted us to go to war to begin with. You didn't believe that they were developing nukes. If you don't believe that, it's okay. Everyone has the right to be retarded. They had 60% enriched uranium. They weren't do that to fucking power their greenhouses, okay? These people are fucking evil monsters that wanted us dead, obviously. But if you're against the Iran war, sure, okay. But why would you be on the side of Iran in the war? And he makes it very clear he is.
To an end to Israeli bombing and murder in Lebanon. So
Israel's blowing up terrorists in Lebanon that are shooting rockets into Israel. Again, this is fucking sad as shit.
in the eyes of
Hezbollah, which killed hundreds of our people. Like, it's insane that we're doing this.
the region, whatever people hate about Iran, and there's a lot that the Arabs hate about Iran,
Yeah, you know, they massacred 40,000 of their own people. They also bombed every single one of their neighboring countries to the point that all the Arab countries in the Gulf were on our side this entire conflict. Think about how insane it is that Tucker Carlson is on Iran's side when all the Arab countries are on our side. Do you understand how insane this is?
they are uniquely standing up for the Palestinians.
That's right. Think about how Iran is standing up for the Palestinians. Bro, Palestine grift is fucking insane. The fact that people are falling for the Palestine grift, holy shit. We have to start making fun of these people. A lot of people don't have the balls to make fun of the people who do this.
I took one out, shot him right in the face.
Palestinians launched multiple wars against Israel, that they started all of them, and they lost
There
all
he
of them.
is.
They're fucking retard. Oh, but the
Yeah,
Palestinians,
that's
they're
right.
occupied.
What do you
When
got
have
on
they
you?
not been occupied? The
Big old
Palestinians
ball
are
of
Arabs.
cocaine, huh?
Arabia, all right, during the Ottoman Empire, where they were occupied by the Ottomans, okay? Then they were occupied by
Shot
the
him right in the
British. Then
face.
they were occupied by the Jews, all right? They've
I'm not gonna
been
lie,
occupied. They've never been
totally
indigenous.
deserved it.
And even if they would be indigenous, they lost the war, and now it's time for them to move the fuck on. No, they decided they had to start many more wars that they wanted to lose so bitterly. Like, we have to stop with this Palestine grip. It's fucking insane. But he's on Iran's side because they're standing
Sorry
up
I'm
with the
late.
Palestinians.
I had
I
to
think Iran gives a shit about the
caps and
Palestinians.
scrubs.
Iran killed millions in the region through themselves and their proxies. They don't care about Palestine. They're just using Palestine as the useful morons that they could stand on and be like, oh,
What?
look at these poor Palestinians.
You gotta-
Oh, we must kill the Jews now. And also America. Also, man, we have to kill America too because Palestinians.
Are you serious? I wanted to go in there.
To the deaths of over 1 million people.
How
in
come
just
she gets to
Yemen
go in there
plus
and I don't get to
Syria
go in
alone.
there?
Forget what they've done in Iraq. Forget what they've done to their own people in Iran. They're horrible, evil monsters. Standing up for the Palestinians. They don't give a shit about the Palestinians, and everyone knows that. Now, Sneeko has the same exact take. Iran is the only nation fighting for the oppression in Palestine. Holy fuck, dude. Sneeko and Tucker Carlson with the same tapes. Very organic. Now, you know who thinks that this isn't organic? This was the biggest twist I've ever seen in my entire life. Qatar. The leader of the Qatari National Democratic Party, Sheikh Khalid Al-Hayil, says that Tucker Carlson does have financial interests in Qatar, and that he is part of the propaganda machine.
Please tell us if Qatar is paying Tucker Carlson.
Carlson, first of all, I am very disappointed with him. I was respecting him as an independent journalist, but what happened after visiting Qatar in Doha forum, where he was driving and passing by the people who slaughter his own people in America, and he was saying American first, that was a big disaster and disrespect to the American people. That's number one.
Oh,
and
shit!
The second thing, Tucker Carlson, he's very well known for having financial interests. Without his financial interest, he will not move. So yes, 100%, I do believe he have a financial interest with the Qatari government.
Dude, what the fuck are we doing? The leader of the Qatari National Democratic Party is saying that Tucker Carlson is literally a propaganda machine by the Qatari government?
And there is some hidden story behind his current propaganda machine.
Please tell. Bro, what the fuck is happening? This is the like, dude. I'm used to like, you know, you get some freaking whacked out Jew that wants to say that he's paid by Qatar, and it's like, okay, the Jews say everyone's paid by Qatar, but Dom, Qatar is saying he's paid by Qatar. What are we doing? Now, in fact, if you want to understand how bad the psyop actually is and how retards are falling in for it so badly, here is a clip of former Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar. This is the guy who orchestrated the October 7th massacre. He's dead now and rotting in shit as we speak. He's telling a Vice journalist about George Floyd getting murdered.
أغتنم هذه الفرصة
And I want to take this opportunity
وإحنا بنعيش
to
ذكرى
remember the
القتل
racist
المجرم
murder of George Floyd.
لجورج فلويد.
George Floyd. says Hamas leader. This guy is the leader of Hamas. They're currently raping their own people in Gaza. Okay, he is a fucking monster. He would like to remember the racist murder of George Floyd. Dog, they are playing the left like fucking fiddles.
George Floyd
was killed as a result of ideology held by some people. Now, for those of you that are unaware, did you know that there is a district in Gaza called the Abid district? Abid is Arabic for slave. It is the district for black people in Gaza called the slave district. It's still, well, it did exist before, they lost the war very miserably that they started. But literally, all right, so these guys are going to tell you about racism. They have fucking Mickey Mouse cartoons about, oh, kids are grow up and stab Jews. Literally, that is the television in Gaza. And he is here on Vice telling leftoid journalists about George Floyd, the leader of Hamas. The same racism that killed George Floyd is being used by Israel against the Palestinians. You see the psyop in Jerusalem and Sheikh Jarrah neighborhood. Now, interestingly enough, 22% of the population of Israel are Arabs, are Palestinian Arabs that are now perfectly integrated into Israeli society. And they vote in Israeli elections. All right, 22% of the fucking country. All right, pretty weird. The West Bank, the burning of our children against the Gaza Strip. And then he decided to start a fucking war and died. Alright, base. Anyway, so this is the craziest thing I've ever seen. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen. We got the leader of Hamas saying that George Floyd. So yeah, so the psyop is very obvious. Now, Tucker Carlson's recent rants have been about how actually Israel is trying to kill Trump. Which is weird, because he was talking about how Israel controls Trump and also how Israel kills Trump. Through the Butler, Pennsylvania assassination attempt. Right, so this is Tucker Carlson telling you a fascinating story about how Israel's trying to kill Trump.
I know that about Butler. I know that Trump shut down the investigation into Butler. That is a fact. Dan Bongino
That is a fact.
told me that when he worked at the FBI.
All right, so Dan Bongino, remember this. Dan Bongino told Tucker Carlson that Donald Trump shut down the investigation into Butler, Pennsylvania's assassination of him.
And Dan Bongino himself was terrified when I spoke to him in December. It's such a long, boring story, but basically I came into possession, I beg your pardon, accidentally came into possession of a lot of the social media posts that we were told didn't exist, that were posted by Thomas Crooks in the months and years before the shooting. And I was amazed that the FBI had lied about this, so I called Cash Patel, and I later called Dan Bongino, and I said, what is this? I'm not attacking you. It was the previous FBI administration that did this. It was Chris Wray, but what is this? And Dan Bongino became hysterical with me on the phone. I've known Dan a long time, for many years, and always got along with him. Whatever his faults, nice guy, certainly very nice to me. I never had a problem with Dan, ever. And that problem began when I brought this information to his attention, and he became a different person. He was clearly terrified. I didn't get it at first, but he was hysterical. And ultimately, after a long series of text exchanges, which I still have, and phone conversations, he said, look, take it up with Trump. He's the one who shut down the investigation. And that was, I think, the first or second week of December. I think it was the beginning of the second week of December.
So let's get this straight. Israel, who controls Trump, tried to assassinate Trump. And Trump shut down the investigation because he didn't actually want to find out who was trying to assassinate him. That's a good story. And it was confirmed by Dan Bongino. So Dan Bongino says, more receipts incoming on my show today that the Nepo baby is lying again. He's like Teddy Ruxpin. You put a coin in his back and he tells you a story. And he made an entire video, an entire hour-long explanation as to exactly how Tucker Carlson is lying. And he showed all the text messages. He's never said that Trump shut down the investigation. He said that he was satisfied with the conclusion of the investigation, that it was a leftist. All right? He never shut down the investigation. In fact, on the Daily Caller, Trump says he's very satisfied with the official narrative of the Butler assassination. That's not Trump secretly shutting it down behind the scenes because he thinks Israel was trying to kill him.
Butler assassination, June 2026. Look this up yourself. Hey, Justin, who founded the Daily Caller? Because you may say, well, this is just bias, Dan. This is a pro-FBI. Oh my gosh, Tucker Carlson and Neil Patel.
Yeah, so Tucker Carlson is the founder of the Daily Caller, who published the article on how Trump was very satisfied with the official narrative. So again, it's just lies and lies and lies and propaganda, and everything that comes out of this guy's mouth is just actually just jihadist propaganda. To the point that people in Qatar think that he's a propaganda machine. The leader of the Qatari National Democratic Party being like, Tucker Carlson is a propaganda machine from Qatar. You literally cannot make this shit up. Ironically, there is one guy that no one can pay off, no foreign governments can pay this guy to betray America because no one can afford him. Elon Musk has become the world's first trillionaire today. This is pretty incredible news. As a big fan of capitalism myself, it means that he's a hard worker, and I guess God favored him. But here we are, we're on that timeline, and I am not going to confirm or deny whether I was able to buy stock into SpaceX early. What I'm saying is, I would love to see him continue succeeding. That's right, baby. I way prefer this guy contributing to the future of humanity over giving infinite money to Africa, where they can continue to do nothing with it. I'm just saying, we gave trillions to Africa. That place still freaking sucks. Guess I'd rather Elon Musk have it, actually. Oh no, but how could you possibly say such a thing? How could you say such a thing? Well, this is a viral story that was literally just going viral today in Brazil. Alright, you're not ready for what you are about to witness because it might break your mind. Alright, so viral in Brazil, 21-year-old dies after workers forget to attach safety rope and push floor off a bridge! She's supposing him bungee jumping, they just threw her off a cliff without picking up the thing! Yeah, so anyway, very happy that we have a billionaire that's contributing to the future of humanity, instead of giving infinite more money to Africa. Elon hits 1 trillion, Democrats wish we could steal that. This has basically been the entire timeline. It is unreal. I have to show you some very unhappy humans. Alright, so Jimmy Kimmel warned against obscenely wealthy weirdo Elon Musk becoming the world's first trillionaire. So Ben Shapiro gets involved. Multi-millionaire paid by multi-billionaires, very angry at trillionaire. Hassan Piker dropped some incredible commentary. Multi-millionaire paid by multi-billionaires to defend trillionaire. And of course, everyone wants to point out the fact that Hassan Piker is a multi-millionaire paid by multi-billionaires like Neville Roy Singham to convince retards that money is bad. Alright, just understand, this you in Cuba with your $10,000 fit going to poor people in Cuba, it's just honestly miserable stuff. It really is. It's incredible. Personally, I'm a really big fan of Elon Musk at this point. I understand he has his little, crash outs every once in a while when he gets exposed cheating in a video game or whatever. With no uncertain terms, I believe him purchasing Twitter has altered the course of humanity for the better. And him helping Donald Trump become president of the United States, I think, quite literally and unambiguously saved America. Billionaire communist incredibly mad. Alright, now Hassan is having a complete and utter crash out over Elon Musk becoming the world's wealthiest man again, which he already was, but now there's a T in front of it.
Beyond Rekt. Yeah, by the way, not banned from the UK. Not banned from the UK, by the way. How interesting. Elon Musk could travel to the UK right now.
It's almost like he doesn't endorse terrorist organizations. It's like, wow, Elon Musk can run this bad. Bro, it's so fucking sad. It's the saddest shit in the world.
Tomorrow, and no one would say a goddamn word. I, on the other hand, am banned from the fucking United Kingdom.
Yes, you support multiple terrorist organizations. You should be banned for the United States too, but we're not so lucky yet. And now, let's not forget that while Hassan is having his generational crash out over Elon Musk, the old Hassan, holy shit, bro must have skipped Ed Day. Alright, old Hassan was a massive Elon Musk fanboy. Man, how things change.
Shout out to Elon Musk, the ultimate swag champion of all time, for unveiling his latest invention, the Hyperloop, earlier this afternoon. According to Musk, the Hyperloop will also be faster than a bullet train and at a fraction of the cost. Now, the serious question I have for Elon Musk is this. How do you have the time to come up with this shit when women are probably tossing their salads your way faster than you can say Hyperloop in every single corner? You're a
He was a huge, massive Elon Musk gobbler before he started collaborating with Elon Musk's ex-girlfriends and estranged children to basically piss him off and support terrorist organizations. Man, if that is not a fall-off, I don't know. This is fucking crazy. Anyway, it gets worse.
Designated genius, you're a good-looking dude, and you happen to be a fucking billionaire, aside from being able to get...
And now he thinks all billionaires are automatically evil. What changed? What changed, Hassan?
People from San Francisco to LA in under 30 minutes. At today's press conference, you managed to give every single member of Al-Qaeda the massivest hard-on ever. Anyway...
And he used to make fun of Al-Qaeda and now he supports them? Bro! What happened to Hassan? What happened to
Wait,
him?
Elon, I admire your...
He just developed a fan base and an audience of terrorists and communists in his fucking Twitch chat, and He felt the need to completely and utterly kowtow to every possible ideology that's spread on Reddit. Like, it's unreal. Like, he used to be a human. A cringe human, don't get me wrong, but a human.
Your conquest in becoming the real-life Tony Stark without the creepy facial hair, and for that, you are our bro of the week.
Unreal! So Hassan Piker used to glaze him constantly. Now he's just so mad. He's so mad. He's so mad. Now this clip was going super viral too. This is Hassan. He just went on a podcast and they asked him, "Hey, have you read books?" He's like, "Yeah, I read lots of books." It's like, "Can you name one?" And he couldn't name a book.
Did you read a lot of books when you were growing up?
I read a decent amount. I don't really read as much anymore, but I did when I was growing up.
Any books stick out in your head as memorable ones?
Alright, here we go. Name a book. Name a book, sir.
I don't know. I have no like immediate books that come to mind. I'm also terrible at recall in general. If you ask me about any songs, for example, I can never tell you any of the lyrics. Or if you ask me about like what my favorite movie is, I have a very hard time pulling from my brain. Maybe it's because it's packed with ridiculous pieces of information about.
He didn't know that what the Western Wall was, alright, in Jerusalem. He talked about infinite commentary.
Did he just put out a bunch of pictures of him reading a book?
Western Wall was.
Like American politics or American history or just world history in general.
Give us a ridiculous piece of information.
Okay, see,
Okay, so give me a piece of info.
putting me on the spot. I'm gonna give you a ridiculous piece of information.
And now we know why Hassan Piker isn't a trillionaire.
I'm also very jet lagged right now. I've been traveling quite a bit this past month. What's a ridiculous piece of information I can give you?
It's painful, man.
Abraham Lincoln is the first bisexual American president. And he was in a gay relationship with his bodyguard.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Here's what I don't get.
Unbelievable, bro. Unbelievable. This is the saddest shit I've ever seen. Oh, Lord. So, Boydie Sanders, very unhappy that Elon Musk is very successful because, unfortunately, a lot of you don't realize that thou shalt not covet, the 10th commandment, is actually explicitly against this. And that's obviously why the left loves it. I mean, all of the, like, literally. Thou shalt not murder, and then they legalize abortion. Thou shalt not steal, and they're like, yes, micro-looting is acceptable from big corporations. Thou shalt not covet, and they're like, holy shit. I'm really mad that Elon Musk is very successful and built, like, a lot of crazy shit. We have to steal it from him. Thou shalt not commit adultery, and then these guys are, like, starting all their gangbang, orgy, sex shit. I'm telling you, man, it's an actual checklist. They satanic checklist. All right, so this is Bernie Sanders talking about how he had enough money to buy 3 homes. All right, I'm going to show you his crash out on Elon Musk in a minute. You just have to understand what we're dealing with.
See a term. You know what? Let's buy a house. So we bought a house, and guess what? Like many thousands of people in the state of Vermont, I have a summer camp. It's a nice one on Lake Champlain. That's it. Now, how did I get the money? You're right. I wrote 2 best-selling books, including this book on capitalism. It was New York Times bestseller for a while. See a term. You know what? Let's buy a house. So we bought a house.
Understand. He wrote books on anti-capitalism and sold them, which is partaking in capitalism, to make money to buy houses. So he has 3 homes because he hates capitalism so much, he monetized the shit out of it, and now he's worth like $10-20 million because he's taking money from like big pharma and shit like that. All right, so just understand the level of retard we're actually dealing with. All right, I have to show you a little bit more one after. Dude, they're all so good. They're all so good. All right, Elon. All right, things he built: robots and Starlinks and Teslas and SpaceX. And Bernie Sanders complained about things for a very long time. So Borny over here is becoming a generational meme. Alright, so Borny released the ultimate fucking tweet. It's truly incredible. Elon Musk rise to trillionaire status is not a time to celebrate. I disagree. It's a call for action. Based on the unprecedented income and wealth inequality that ounces the degree and power of the ruling class that is destroying the social fabric of America. Him being a trillionaire does not make you poorer. Okay? Holy shit, these people fucking suck. It's unreal. Elon Musk creates 4,400 millionaires. Alright, to include hundreds of working class people in one IPO. Alright, this is crazy.
You know how many millionaires Bernie Sanders created? One! Himself, bro! Socialists are cringe, and they fucking suck, and they are anti-reality, they're anti-God, they're immoral psychopaths that drink the blood of the unfortunate to fund their infinite guilt machine. Our democracy cannot survive with one man who contributed $290 million to get Trump elected, become $700 million richer in Trump's election. For those of you unaware, yes, he contributed $290 million or whatever to get Trump elected. You do realize that Kamala Harris's campaign outspent Trump by a massive margin, all right? And actually, you want to hear the truth, too? I would love it if the guy that spent $290 million to save Western civilization got richer to have more money to spend on saving Western civilization. I know, incredibly hot take, but fuck yeah. This is the kind of guy that I want to see become a trillionaire. Our economy cannot sustain itself when one man owns more wealth than the bottom half of society. He's not taking money from them, right? He's working hard, he's making things, he's actually creating things in the world, all right? And a lot of these guys that are at the bottom half of society should get jobs. Sorry, I'm just being real. This shit sucks. It sucks to read. When 60% of our people live paycheck to paycheck, when we're in the highest rate of childhood poverty of any major nation, our kids will have the lowest standard of living than their parents. For the record, no one is dying and starving. We are living in the richest civilization in the history of the world. Never before has there ever been a time that there is no starvation in an entire country. The poorest person in the country is not starving. We have an obesity crisis, not a starvation crisis in America. Elon Musk has contributed to the country. He has given jobs to thousands of people. Bernie Sanders has contributed nothing to anybody. He has bitched and moaned on our pay. We are paying this man's salary. He has bitched and moaned for 50 years in the government or some shit, and he has never accomplished anything. It is insane to me that he views himself as contributing to America or whatever, and Elon isn't. It is insane. It's not just about wealth, it's about power. Musk and his fellow oligarchs want it all. Together we must fight back, and we can. And Musk to create an economy and a government that works for us, not the either Musk and the billionaires. Motherfucker, all of the billionaires vote for Democrats. Why do you think that is? Why did you take millions of dollars from big pharma companies? Huh? You are literally owned by these people. It's insane. It's actually insane. So just understand, this is the Bernie Sanders ride, all right? You want to keep the minimum wage low and give tax breaks to billionaires, Donald Trump, that is not what makes America great. All right, so this was in 2015. Bernie Sanders was not a millionaire. Are we comfortable seeing a huge increase in millionaires? I have people living in poverty than ever. I know I'm not. First of all, this is a lie. It's hyperbole. Obviously, people are not living more in poverty now than ever. All right, this is in 2016. He was not a millionaire yet. All right, this is in 2017. He was not a millionaire. Are we comfortable with our nation? Huge increase of millionaires, more people living in poverty. All right, so he made the same tweet twice. Thought no one would notice, but both of them when he was not a millionaire. All right, and then he makes this tweet over here in 2019. Once he's a millionaire, billionaires should not exist. All right. Okay. We see the game. Now, it is pretty remarkable, I have to say, bro. The memes are incredible. This is what Bernie thinks Elon's net worth is. This is what his actual net worth is. And it's insane that people live in such a retarded society that they think that this is what it's all about. So Elizabeth Warren, another one of these leftoids, decided to post one of these shitting videos, just crying about how Elon Musk is successful or something, which, I mean, used to be the American dream until Democrats hijacked it. Alright, so you gotta watch these people bitching.
Elon Musk is officially the world's first trillionaire.
Congratulations, Elon! Keep doing good shit! We're gonna go to Mars, it's gonna be great! We're gonna go to Mars, it's gonna take all the people that actually do shit to Mars, we're gonna colonize Mars, and you can't come, alright, because you are against colonization. We will colonize Mars, and all the leftists that are against colonialism, they'll stay here, and then at some point they'll want to come to Mars. We'll need someone to deliver Uber Eats, okay? We'll bring in Jorge. And then we're gonna get Mars ice. Hey, bro, it's crazy. They're gonna go to Mars, they're gonna take $500 Mars dollars, which is gonna be worth like 100 million Earth dollars.
Think about that. We're living in a time when more and more people are just hanging on by their fingernails to survive in this economy.
She says, riding in the back of a limousine worth like $30 million or some shit.
And Elon Musk has more money and more wealth than anyone in human history.
Jace.
I want to be clear. This is not just some fluke.
You're right, he started many successful companies.
It is a feature of a rigged economy.
You are literally worth $30 million. Or some shit. Like, this lady is worth a crazy amount of money. Right? She's worth $12 million. Okay?
Donald Trump's big, beautiful bill cut health care for millions of Americans.
Jace,
It didn't cut healthcare for millions of Americans. It cut healthcare for illegals and for people that didn't deserve to get healthcare, like people that were in the country without documentation. All right, for example, which is base. I do not want to be paying for the healthcare of these retards. The big beautiful bill gave tax breaks to everyone, primarily the middle class. Middle working class got the best tax breaks from the big beautiful bill. All right, keep crying though.
To give guys like Elon bigger tax breaks.
Yes, and also guys like me and you and her. All right, we all got tax breaks, you know, because we don't need to be funding illegal aliens getting healthcare, actually, and that's awesome. Because we purged the actual healthcare rolls for people that were dead, that were still collecting healthcare somehow.
The tax code rewards CEOs for firing workers and replacing them with AI.
Base, why the fuck should anyone be forced to hire dead weight when they are not needed? Base, actually. Are we serious?
Loopholes have allowed Jeff Bezos to pay an effective tax rate lower than a Boston public school teacher.
Loophole sounds like a nice way to say that it had nothing to do with Trump or the big beautiful bill, and it's just an issue that has always existed.
And we are left with a country where a handful of billionaires at the top pop champagne in their $300 million yachts.
I'm glad she brings this up, because Gavin Newsom has a yacht, but Elon Musk does not have a yacht.
While working people take on even more shifts to try to pay off their student loan debt.
So they shouldn't be getting college degrees in useless bullshit. Unfortunately, on the entire left, there is a mind rape operation going on, where they are doing their absolute utmost to convince retards that they need to go to college to get a degree in lesbian butt sex. And they'll take a loan, and they'll have debt, and they'll never be able to pay it back because their degree is fucking worthless garbage. Maybe convince people to actually get jobs that don't require infinite student loan debt. Right? Maybe teach people that if they go to college to get a degree, the degree should actually mean something. I don't know, like to become a doctor, an accountant, or a lawyer, or something that could actually...
Alright, I'm going to turn in for the evening. I'm getting tired. My head's hurting a little bit. I will see you guys in the morning. Oh, I better save my game before I check out. Alright, I will see you guys in the morning.
Yes, they do, because they worked hard, and thank God, or whatever, they were able